Hey, welcome to the Runaways podcast. My name is Cody. We're back for another week, and everything's changed again, at least LL wise. I don't think we can go. Oh, wait.
Cinema this week. Absolute cinema.
Wait, remember when they said there would not be any more bans unless something really drastic had to happen, and then we all said they're absolutely going to ban things. So I do not believe this is the last state that we're going to have LL in.
I remember being there for this, yeah.
Yep. they have banned things. They once again hate me, and they have decided that.
Wait, when were you here for this? You're never on the pod.
That was the joke.
How could you have possibly been here?
You're very intelligent, Fino. You're very observant.
Well, if you have noticed, there is someone here who hasn't been.
Are
here
you
in a very
eating?
long time.
Wait. What is happening? Why are you eating?
Dude, I got some bacon mac and cheese upstairs, but that shit waits till the end of the pod, dude.
If I could eat on the pod, I'd be eating every week.
Yeah,
this is not allowed.
Since Lucas is here, I look less disheveled by comparison, so I can eat.
Yeah, I got a haircut scheduled for tomorrow, bro. Next week, your food's out the window, dude.
So LSS just throws their game in the trash can, and now we're just eating on the podcast. There's no standards anymore. You can do whatever you want. Rewind says I can eat on the podcast. Got it.
Rewind says I can eat on
And with that, Lucas, you're back. You decided that you wanted to get on the podcast. Mm-hmm. You saw that all of your wishes have come true. If there's one person who's incredibly happy that everything that has happened right now, it is Lucas. He got all of his wishes. He gets to play his two favorite decks, assuming he actually registers them. He'll probably be registering one of them. But Lucas, how do you feel? You had to come back because you guys a gloat, right?
Yeah, dude, I feel great, man. All you stupid Rune Blades get your cards banned, and I just sit over here playing Starvo, laughing. No, I've actually been playing a lot of the different decks in LL. I was branching out a little bit, but they really want me to come back and just eat crayons for 6 rounds at Worlds. So I'm honestly not sure what I'm gonna play for LL. I'm gonna play Verdance for CC though. No changes is pretty good. I still think the deck's strong. It's my favorite hero. I gotta play it.
I don't think you're capable of playing something that's not elemental.
Yeah, dude, if it's not elemental in some aspects, I just don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure it out. If I'm not giving you Frostbites or Stormstrider Waning Moon, my brain can't comprehend. I just have aneurysms. I play Gravy for 3 tournaments. I go 2-17, and then I skip out for a few weeks. But
maybe it's just something about the border is pleasant to your eyes. It calms you down and it helps you center yourself.
I think it's just the heroes are broken and I suck, so I need help from the broken heroes. No, but I've also played a few Pro Quests since I was on the pod last. I played in 2. I played 1 Pro Quest a few weeks ago in CC. I played Verdance. I went 5-0 in Swiss. Pretty simple. And then it was there weren't really any interesting or notable games for the most part. And then I lost to a Syndra in top 8, where I think that matchup in general is just sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. It's pretty close. It's I think largely draw sequence dependent for a lot of the games. But I think there were things I could learn as well. But I did lose in top 8 there. And then this past weekend, I played another Pro Quest, also with Verdance, where I went. It was only 15 people, so it was only 4 rounds. So I went 3-1 in Swiss. I lost to a Syndra, and then I played. This was Jacob Baugh, and then I played him again in the finals, and he was still playing Syndra. And I was once again.
I would hope so.
I was once again defeated. The finals game was quite cursed. We both kind of didn't do anything the whole game. I played on the draw. I played a Felling pitching 3 reds, and then I didn't see another Felling, Plow, or Cadaverous tilling until the 40th card in my deck. So and he just kept missing. He wasn't drawing any Draconic starters or anything. It was all triple finisher hands. So that game was very cursed on both sides, but he ended up being able to defeat me. But yeah, I've just been playing actually quite a bit of Flesh and Blood. Just been trying to figure out what the hell's up with LL. Have yet to succeed. And yeah, I mean, I'm just on the Verdance train for CC. I think it's pretty simple. This meta is just play what you want to play, and my deck's the best deck, so I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, I think they made it a little easier for you to narrow down your choices on LL.
Indeed.
Noah, you played a Pro Quest? You played more KO? How'd that go?
Yeah. We actually had a pretty cool weekend where I got to play in a double header of like similar size tournament. The first on Saturday was the ProQuest, which is the one that I really wanted to win. Unfortunately, it was a pretty big tournament. I think it was like 36 people. Whatever. It basically just crossed the threshold for 6 rounds of Swiss. And round 1, I sit down against the only Volda in the room. And Yuanji and I have been complaining that like if for some reason the world gets hit with a virus and decides to all play Volda, then we'll never win a game again with KO. And losing round 1 at one of these events means you basically can't lose again until the last round. But I picked up a loss against Marlon in round 4, so I got 10th. And then on Sunday, the event that didn't matter for getting an invite to Japan, but was still, relatively large event. It was like 27, 28 people. I went undefeated in that one, playing KO again. I changed like 5 cards, I think, because I can never enter 2 tournaments with the same deck. It's just not in my DNA. But yeah, still like obviously very good success with KO on the weekend, and only losing to matchups that I know are like 1% of the room and are cursed, and I'm, not going to warp my deck for Volda.
Makes sense. Congrats on still not being banned from the game. Someone who is banned from the game and eating on the podcast still would be named Fino. You did not get to play any Flesh and Blood this weekend.
Nope, I did not take a strategic second place. Last weekend I won a ProQuest. So I'm banned from the game now. No longer allowed to play. But like Noah said, we had another event to go to. I also went to that event. He went undefeated is we never actually played our finals game. We saw each other in the finals and said, let's go get food. We high-fived and then went to go get food instead of playing the game. Yeah, it was good. Played Gravy. Hit a failure state in one of my games. Nope, 2 of my games hit a failure state. And the deck just decided you don't get to win the game today. But then I won all the games that my deck allowed me to play. Still very frustrating playing the deck. I'd like my tipples back, please. I guess I should complain more about that on social media, since that's how we get things changed in the DNR. But yeah, I just stayed home on Saturday. I was planning on streaming, and then I just like had no ambition to FAB. I was like, man, I can't even go to an event. I don't even want to FAB today. I had the thumbnail ready and everything. I was just like, I can't even. I'm sad. I don't get to hang out with my friends. But yeah, it was nice at least coming out to play at that 1K the Grave Troll hosted. And to your point earlier, it was 36 players that were at your ProQuest. I got the spreadsheet right here, and
very good.
Goddamn, their pricing is great.
You can check the tapes.
Their pricing is great. They put 100% of the cash back in.
I think that's like the exact amount of people at both of my ProQuests.
But yeah, no, like Fino was saying, at Grave Troll is where both the events were. It's like insane. She bought like 15 pizzas for the store, so like everyone could just feast on pizza. 100% of the prizing was, 100% of the entries were given back as prizing. It was very nice.
Dude, honestly, you could have told me the prizing was just being allowed to eat pizza all day, and I'd be in.
Yeah.
And it was as cash, not as credit, so it's like even better, like actual goated prizing.
Yeah, that's pretty great prizing. I unfortunately got to play in my ProQuest that I wanted to win this weekend, because this is my last ProQuest. I'm playing in tournaments now for the next 2 weekends, like the 10K and then a 5K. And I did not even get close to winning this one. So the deck decided.
Well deserved.
Oh, it's fine. I made enough from my other events that make up for me having to use one of my PTIs. That was the risk that I was willing to take. Still profitable venture, I think. But no, Gravy just said, you're not playing the game. You're not winning. You're going to actually lose to a Florian, which I didn't even know was possible until it happened at that tournament. I was like, oh, you can lose this match sometimes. But yeah, I left that event very soured on if I'm going to continue playing Gravy or not. It was that one hurt just because I legitimately couldn't play the game.
It's like the best worst deck in the game. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's like embarrassing. Like I keep using this word every time I talk about playing like Gravy, but sometimes it's literally embarrassing. You draw 4 cards and they don't block and they don't deal damage.
Yeah,
like
the Saturday before the last weekend I won on Sunday, but I played on Saturday, and I literally crashed out on Saturday about Gravy. And I was like, I'm not fucking playing this deck anymore. I'm sick of Gravy. I need to find something else in the Discord. And then the next day I literally won. It was like, what a meme of a deck. Like, against one of the games I played on Saturday, I had 2 turns in a row that my turn was 5-card pass. Like my opponent blocked 2 cards, killed my ally, I drew up, and my turn was Avast Ye, loot the whole prismatic ley line, pass, draw 3. I still can't take a game action. Like what are we doing?
I think it's interesting that when Gravy first came out, we all kind of talked about how his blues are super strong, and he's a deck that gets to play a lot of blues, and that should make him more consistent. I think we actually talked about this when it came out, but I think over time it's kind of come to be that Gravy actually just has, like, because he's not as restricted as other decks where, like, you just have to have some blues. Like, basically his whole deck is blues. You have access to plenty of good blues, but your blues are still quite inconsistent because they just break in so many spots. It's not just your blues, your allies as well, but despite being a deck with a high pitch count, it still feels very inconsistent, which is something that where I feel like historically we've talked about decks having strong blues being really powerful and consistent. I think it's also worth noting that those decks should have blues, and I haven't been on in a few weeks, but I've been loving everything Noah's been saying about weapons. We need better weapons in the game. Like you look at something like Icelander or Oldhim, where you have a million blues, and they're really strong because you can play them. Like Thunderquake is not as powerful of a card as Avasti, but if you draw 3 Thunderquakes, you do 8. If you draw 3 Avastis,
You have a turn.
You play 3 Avastis.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a stark
That's
difference.
why I said this is one of the most embarrassing decks I've ever played because there are too many turns. And to be fair, I've played in 4 ProQuests, and I got second place at 2 of them, and then I scrubbed out of 2 of them, which is kind of how Gravy works. Like that's essentially how I've worked with Gravy. Like when I get to play the game, I win the game, and when I don't get to play the game, I just sit here and do nothing.
I was talking about Jacob. I was talking about this with Jacob Shaker, like literally after the crash out on Saturday, where we were comparing it to Levia, where we used to always say Levia starts every event as X2. You just always start every event with 2 losses. With Gravy, it feels very similar to that, where instead of starting at X2, it feels like you start off as 4-2, where you start off with 4 free wins, but 2 free losses. And like, that's far more appealing than starting X2, but it's still, you're starting with 2 losses. So it's where are those 2 losses? And that's kind of a big deal.
One thing when Gravy first came out that a lot of us were talking about was the lack of a weapon. I think the way that they did the spoiler season made it not so obvious when it was first revealed. So people were very let down when they realized it didn't exist. And I kind of feel like that discussion kind of went under the wayside a little bit. But like we see now that there's not 9 tipples and the engine is less consistent. Like it's a very big problem, I think, for the game experience that something like Gravy doesn't have a weapon. And we see this with every hero right now. Verdance, like, sort of has a weapon. Syndra sort of has a weapon. So I think Syndra is probably the best example of a reasonable weapon in today's format. But like, look at a lot of the top heroes, and they just don't really have weapons that allow you to do anything consistently, like Dash.io, Acilio, things like this, where maybe some of their weapons do interesting things, but it feels like the game experience of not being able to have something that you do as consistently is, at least in my view, an overall negative for the game. Like we just have so many heroes that, I mean, we're going to get into this in the main topic, but we have so many heroes where we just understand when we start playing them that if you don't draw the good cards, your deck's not really going to function. And that's not something that we've always had in FAB. And
your face is going to get frozen.
Well, who
like
knows?
That,
Who knows? In LL soon, we might not have consistent weapons there either.
That's true.
They're going down the line, just getting rid of all of them.
Yeah, they're going to ban my sweet, sweet baby Winter's Wail so soon. I'm going to cry.
Lucas, I agree, and we can get into it like deeper later, but I'd happily give up power in the deck for more consistency so that the game's played out in some similar fashion where you can actually make game plans and make decisions and like do things. A lot of this format, and I can talk about it a little bit later, it kind of feels like, yeah, I might be 60-40 into this matchup, but 60% of the time I'm rolling and stomping them, and then 40% of the time I'm getting rolled and stomped. We're not really playing the game at each other because both decks are incredibly powerful, and it's just about like whoever drew the good stuff.
Or it'll be like 40% of the time I roll them, 30% of the time they roll me, and 30% of the time we have a good game. But like it's still so much higher than it feels like it's been historically.
Yeah, it's a weird meta, and we can talk about that later. I do want to get to the other normal stuff first, and then we'll dive into the big topic. The normal thing we talk about, this was a PQ week, so let's do recap what actually happened at PQs. Verdance is back on top with 18 wins, Syndra with 13, and Gravy with 12. So the big three has not been cracked. It's just been the big three every single week. So I guess not surprising. What is nice, and everyone will cheer, Kano got 7 wins. Kano is back on track to getting LL'd. So maybe we actually
if we get 3 LL Kano, we should have like a celebration online. Like whoever does it this weekend, like everybody that gets it, there's like a giveaway. Like if you win a tournament with Kano.
So you know how the guy that won like the 1,000,000th game or whatever got a special trophy? That guy should get the trophy for being the one to get rid of Kano finally.
Okay.
What's up, Noah?
Well, now I have 2 things. Firstly, if you're throwing this out there, Lucas, you should sponsor it from all the money you're going to get from that Mind Warp video. Excellent content.
Oh.
Okay, anyways. Now I got to remember what I was actually going to say.
Disaster.
The plug
I'm
away.
sure it was enlightening. Oh, yeah. They post the article about BNR, and they're like, there will be no changes. Then we see Kano is literally about to LL. It's like, would be a huge change. Like, actually would change every single person's deck in the tournament, most likely. So, just funny that they put that, like, there will be no changes when, like, the LL system just says, like, everybody's deck can change 1 week before the tournament.
Not everyone.
There are 2 more PQ weeks, right? For some people, there are 2 more PQ weeks.
Yeah.
Mine are kind of just over in this area, which is why I'm going to, like, some other tournaments. But hopefully they can keep getting Kano out of here. Victor got 6 wins. Cool. Acilio got 5, Prism got 5, KO got 5, and then a smattering down from there. Anything in here that is surprising to anyone at all, besides Victor getting 6 wins?
KO was pretty low. I expected KO to be higher. I don't know where he's been every week, but there was at least 1 week where he was the 4th highest winning deck, and I would expect him to hover around there most weeks, seeing what you said, Victor, Kano, and what was it, Prism being ahead of him? Or was Prism also 5?
Prism's also 5.
Okay.
Acilio was also 5. Victor was 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's weird. We haven't seen. I really wish there was like we could do 2 timelines and we could see the timeline of like not having the change where you're not allowed to win more than 1 event, and the timeline of this and see how they would be different, because it's pretty hard to actually look at the data and see what kind of ramification that had.
Well, we actually do see it. Like I feel like it's not unreasonable for us to infer that because specialists are winning tournaments, we see like Verdance has 18 wins, which I believe is more of the percentage than the top decks have been in previous weeks. We see a much larger gap between the top and the middle of the pack, and then we see the middle of the pack kind of evening out a little bit, which I think kind of makes sense if we expect a lot of the specialist players that might skew the numbers in one direction or another. Those numbers go down.
I mean, KO definitely looks lower because someone has not been winning on KO in their finals events.
Yeah, Jacob Shaker, you're right. Yeah.
Well, that would have had no impact on this week, right? That would have just inflated the previous weeks.
No. On Saturday, he was unfortunately defeated by Will. Don't you remember?
Well, how could I remember?
Oh, you weren't there. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I don't get to go.
Everyone was there. You weren't there.
I'm banned. I'm banned
Okay,
from the game.
sorry.
I am living legend.
Oh, you missed out on a fabulous game. I won't go too in depth on it, but yeah, it was a great game. Definitely a nail biter.
Cool. Let's go over to the second main topic, which is going to be BNR happened. So apparently the Rune Blades are infinitely too strong. So Dirge is now restricted again. And for some reason, Rosetta Thorn is banned. So we've banned another card from LL format. I don't know what this format's for. Apparently, things that we have learned. One, they realize that all of this has not looked very good or done very well for Worlds being, or for LL being at Worlds, and they're not happy with how they've basically set this up.
Has no one made the comment before of LL is just L after L?
I don't think anyone has made that.
Dude, they
comment
should have
yet.
called it WW. It would have gone.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been so much better.
Winner's Whale.
Oh,
Yeah. That is the
also-
winner's whale.
Yeah. Winners
We've
whale,
also
nice. You
learned
just
we've
scream
had a-
after you win.
We've also had to confirm that Dirge was basically only unrestricted so that the Armory deck could actually be playable.
Oh,
They
That
have
five
now
people in the
restricted
universe
it.
have.
Yeah. The Armory deck that every store got one of and just sits in their like pristine shelf
I'm one of
for
the
$100.
Yo, you're so down
Yeah.
right now, bro.
Okay. So that's it.
Yeah, I feel like we just like, what the hell is the point of LL anymore? I feel like we're at the point where we're no longer the just play whatever you want format, because we've literally banned two people's weapons. Like, clearly you don't need people to like just do whatever they want. You don't really care about people's hero identity. Like, Rosetta Thorn is like, I feel like a foundational piece of LL. And
That was not on my bingo card of Rosetta Thorn going.
It feels like they want it to be a real balanced format, but also like Scaletta, Art of War, High Octane, like Starvo cards, like are all just legal, and it's like, okay,
maybe they took our conversation about weapons on the podcast to heart, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it, even less weapons.
yeah, let's send these motherfuckers back to the Stone Age, bro. We're swinging around these stupid Reaping Blades and Galaxy Blacks and LL, bro. What are we doing? If somebody shows up to
you raise a good point.
I'm suing LSS for lying about the format. Like, what are we talking?
You raise a good point. The Dirge thing happened because of the Armory deck. Well, if we get rid of Reaping Blade, now you'll go buy the Secret Lair Light and Shadow for your fancy Reaping Blade.
Oh,
surely you would play Reaping Blade over Duskblade with that legal in the format, right?
They can finally sell Monarch packs. Just kidding.
I don't
know. The whole thing's silly.
I do not understand the LL changes. It's almost like they just banned to try and make decks unplayable, or give you like, instead of balancing them. Chain has infinite cards at this point, banned and restricted from them, and it's just like Warmongers is still at 3. You could have put Dirge at 3. You could give something back. If you think that Viserai is the issue, ban Scaletta then, because that's the actual, like, one of the actual power cards there. If you want to make Dirge yellow only, I guess that's like at least makes a little bit more sense.
Ban the problem, not the enabler.
It kind of feels like they took the ban hammer like a little bit too seriously. They should have used like a ban like Luminaris, or like a ban like Storm of Sandakai, something that's just like a little bit more peaceful, because they're not actually balancing anything. They just like see the format and they just swing the hammer. They just hit whatever's at the top and hope the people at the bottom figure it out. Like, it's Roomblade best deck, just smash the Roomblade in the face with a hammer. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, you guys got to use something
at least
a little more.
At least Roomblades actually started like topping things, and they did this. They've been doing this when like Roomblades didn't show up at all. Roomblades didn't show up until they put Warmongers at 3. I don't know why it worked that way, but that's basically what happened.
Data's fake.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the ProQuest I went to had 54 people at it, and the Battle Hardens had 30 people at them. Like, come on. It's such a joke. Like, no one wants to play this format. This doesn't make me want to play the format anymore. Here's the actual frustrating part. I don't care if I don't get to play Chain or not. I'm going to let people in on a secret. When everyone was playing Chain and Viserai, I was looking at playing other decks because I wanted to just counter the Roomblades for Worlds. So it's not like I have to play Chain to be happy with the format. The thing is like the constant changes, the constant things I disagree with, the way the format is not currently balanced makes me not want to practice or do the format. Like, I don't want to play this part of the game. Like, I have no motivation to do it. As for like someone who like enjoys FAB and wants to do like play more FAB, I have no interest in sitting down and grinding this format to try and find an edge and find the deck. As a card game player, I will eventually get over this feeling, and I will go sit down and play the format to try and find an edge, because I am going to play at Worlds and I am a competitive person. But right now, I don't feel like doing that at all. I would love to go explore Silver Age. That stuff looks fun. I keep seeing it out of the corner of my eye of these people like having fun off in the corner, and I'm just like in the coal mines trying to like play this terrible LL. I have no interest doing that. And none of this makes it so that like I feel like they know what they're doing. I just have to go figure out and hope that they miss something that I can go play at Worlds now. And the format's not interesting. Starvo is very strong. Zen is way worse now because like Zen doesn't have the 2 decks to pick on in the Rune Blades. Dio is like in a way faster than Zen, but loses to Warmonger, so you hope you draw it as Zen. Zen is bad into Starvo. So now we're like, and then any other aggro deck you pick up is just gonna like roll over to Dio. So it's like, what is this format? This format is already terrible.
Or Starvo, like Starvo
Yeah.
and Dio, and I think even to for some of the decks, Zen kind of just feel like they gatekeep any aggro decks.
You need something to wash your throat now?
No. They beat like they gatekeep the aggro decks, but I feel like Dio and Zen, and even maybe still the Rune Blades, still just kind of gatekeep any like.
Dude,
illusion
okay,
or
one sec.
anything like
One
that.
sec. Who goes to Dairy Queen and gets a Blizzard on a Tuesday? That's certainly like after tournament food. Like
This,
you don't
okay,
just
no,
do
this
that
is
in, like,
ridiculous
a Tuesday
criticism, bro.
afternoon.
I don't know. Sometimes you just want to have some ice cream. There's like literally nothing wrong with.
No, I took
enjoying
my
your
mom
food a
out to
little bit more
dinner.
than
I
you
took
would
my mom
normally.
out to dinner. She wanted DQ. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, bro.
Okay,
his
so
mom
there
was-
was an event. Okay, fine.
Yeah, you
I'll
Slay
allow.
Queen. You get what you want. Valid answer.
I mean, completely valid, yes.
And they had the cones she wanted on sale today for $2, so she got 2. It was OP.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dude, you're
I also-
talking about food value. Noah's on board now.
True.
Somehow everything with a straw was 50% off. I don't even know what on their menu has straws normally, so I just ignored that. Anyways,
sorry, tangent. We can go back.
Sure. I want to bring back some of the comments they made. It says Chain is facing down 3 copies of Warmonger's Diplomacy without batting an eye. In what data? In what data? Like, there's been one battle hardened to 30 people at it. I don't
And Chain
understand.
won. That means
There were like 4 chain. How many?
Out batting
how
an
many-
eye. Look at the top 8. There's 0 Warmongers. He was facing.
How many?
Warmongers
Yeah.
winning
How
without
many
batting an eye.
Warmongers were registered at that tournament? Like, this doesn't. You can't make these claims in this post off of no tournaments. 34-person junk event where the best players played the decks that didn't have Warmongers in it. I don't. What are you talking about? Like, of course they did. They never had to deal with Warmongers.
I've been waiting 2 days to be on the pod and watch you crash out.
Yeah, how many Warmongers do you think were cast against Chain in that one tournament?
Probably 0. Like, the Starvos weren't even running Warmongers. Like, come on now. Like, what are we talking about? Like, they just treat us like we're idiots, and they just like say words that don't matter. These have nothing backing them up. There's no proof of any of this. There's been no tournaments. Like, there's no events where we even got to see Warmongers cast. If they just said, like, if the top was like Starvos with a bunch of Warmongers and Zens with a bunch of Warmongers, and then like you see a Chain beat all of them, and then they said this, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. I understand. But that's not what happened. Like, we don't have any tournaments like that, and we have no data. So they're just making stuff up about how this is not a problem
Dude,
for the
it's
format.
not even the rantaways. It's just ranting.
Yeah, it's just me. You guys are talking about food and stuff, but like, I don't know. I'm very annoyed with this.
Man, I have nothing else to live for at this point. Like,
That's how a lot
okay.
of people feel, dude. Reading some of our like team general chats, it's like Flesh and Blood died. Like, people are having a funeral for it. They're like mourning the game.
I have 2 points. The first I'll try to keep brief. So, like, how you felt apathetic towards like testing moving forward because of the BNR, I felt that prior to this because of how just absurdly busted the format was. Like, you look at it and you're like, obviously something's going to happen. And I hate to say this, but my testing for LL was so dumb. I was joking before that BNR changes recently were based on social media sentiment. I made that joke based on the tipple ban forever ago. And then we had the last LL change, and I was like, wait, hold on, maybe. Oh, this format still looks busted? Surely something's going to change? I'm just going to complain on Twitter about how the format needs more changes instead of actually practicing the current format. And then immediately there were more changes. So it's like, it's such like absurd mentality to take towards the format, but apparently it was correct. But the other thing, kind of to your point earlier, where you're talking about like it doesn't show like, I don't remember the word that you used, but you're like talking about the competency of everything. I am at an all-time low of confidence of how the game is being run at the moment. I've basically been pretty upset with how the ship's been being steered for the past like year and a half, like basically MST forward. It's just been constant issues. You know, we've got the product shortages, we've got the release of high seas around nationals, the LL system in itself, and like, I don't know what the legality of heroes is while I'm in the middle of the air to this event, but that's exciting. The prices of the game, of this whole LL debacle, and there's other things too that I'm sure I've bitched about over the past year and a half, where it's just like constant thing after thing after thing, where I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? Like, who's driving the bus here? And I'm like one step away from apathy towards the game of these things, where I'm like, you know what, I just don't care anymore. I just accept that this is how the game is, and that I'm wrong. That and that's got to be the worst possible outcome, right? Like, surely me being upset is better than me feeling apathetic, because if I'm apathetic, I just don't care anymore, right? Like,
yeah, if you're apathetic,
I just hope that they right the ship. Like, I want things to get fixed and not be like this, but I'm hitting the point of like, I just don't trust their ability to fix this shit.
Noah, do you have a comment? I'm assuming you probably disagree.
Okay, so here's my thing. I hate just keep bashing them over the same stuff, but like Fino said, they keep giving us ammunition to be bashed over. And I was thinking of an analogy of LL. I'm gonna forget it if I don't say it. So, while Lucas was busy getting his house broken into because he lives in St. Louis, so we had to have a cut there. I was thinking of an analogy of desserts. Every time after our tournaments, we go out for a nice dinner. I had some quality desserts, and I was thinking, there's this phenomenon of an Oreo that's deep fried, and like Oreos are great. You could even go double stuff, even better. But once you start deep frying an Oreo, it just becomes completely cursed and like non-functional. This is my like opinion of how LL is, where some people will enjoy it, but you like pile on too much nonsense that it just becomes like something fundamentally different from the original. That's, even though it's more things, it's not better. This has nothing to do with following up what Fino said, but I thought of it and I wanted to say it. I'm sorry.
I mean, to your point though, of like continuing to bag on them.
Yeah.
I don't like being negative about the game. That's like, I know I complain a lot over the past year or so it may seem that that's like my default if I want to complain, but in reality, like, you know, you go back another year, I was literally the meme of, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Flesh and Blood? I legitimately went to my friends' houses and forced them to learn the game. That I was that guy. And it has hit the point where I'm like, I don't even recommend the game to people anymore. Like, I was at oh god, what the game store that has the like video game room connected to. I don't know if you remember which one I'm talking about, Noah.
Yeah.
Some like kids were asking about the game there, like, oh, what are you guys playing? And I was like, Flesh and Blood. And normally I would have given them the whole spiel, tried pitching the game, pulled out my IRA decks from my backpack, tried teaching them. I just didn't even bother, because I'm like, how can I recommend the game to someone when the game's like $1,000 entry point and it's kind of a dumpster fire of all the things going on right now? It's like the continued bagging isn't like bagging for the sake of bagging on them.
You gotta give them
there just keeps being things over and over and over again. It's like, yeah, you're giving me ammunition because you keep doing this shit. Like, don't keep making the mistakes over and over again. Like, at some point, right the ship.
You know, what do you think about a $20 ticket to the $2 million world tour?
I think that's cool. I talked about this on stream the other day. The day that you're like, you can't come on the podcast, Fino, because Lucas is gonna be on. And then no show. I want alternative formats to succeed in the game. That is good for the ecosystem of the game. I want LL to be successful. I want Silver Age to be successful. These are good for the game. You need alternative ways for people to engage with a hobby. That is one of the issues that FAB has had over the past. You look at Magic and other games, standard is bad. Okay, whatever, I'll just go play a different format of Magic. You can just go do something else and continue engaging with a hobby. Flesh and Blood doesn't really have that. And so like when things are bad, you have no way to escape that. You're stuck. And it being potentially another entry point for new players, I think is good, but I'm going to push back against that. you again, going with analogy of Magic, we had like a few years where these like bullshit formats kept popping up, like it's Commander, but you get a legendary spell. Ooh, it's so cool. And people like lost their mind over it for 6 months, and then everyone forgot about it and no one cared. I am worried that's going to be what happens. If the intent of this is to be your intro point for players, people that enter these games, anecdotally from my experience, they join with some level of social intent. They're going to play the formats that they're seeing other people are playing. Just because you tell them Silver Age is a good entry point, that doesn't matter if no one in the store is playing. So if they go to their LGS and they see no one's playing this format, which could be a possibility, because like if this is not like the ProQuest format moving forward, and people are like, well, I don't give a shit, I'm trying to practice for ProQuests, and that's Classic Constructed, I'm gonna go play that at the armories, then that's gonna die a natural death. So I think they really need to go out of their way to support the format and like kind of force stores to do stuff with the format and make the longevity exist for that. And I'm concerned that's not going to happen, and then that becomes a fake entry point where like, sure, for the next 6 months while everyone's excited about this format, it's a great entry point, and then no one's going to care anymore because it's Pauper. Like, it's not, that's like a niche format that really enfranchise people like. I'm going to love this shit. I love these scrappy, low power formats with a lot of brewing, but that's not for everyone. A lot of people just want to do the cool, fun thing that all their other friends are doing. I know that was a long tangent. You guys can yap now.
I was just thinking, like, if you're a store, right?
Yeah, but by the way, you guys see the time?
What happened?
Remember that when we started this part of the recording, that was when he started talking. 8 minutes now. Continue.
Yeah, no, but it was good.
That was a good one.
Honestly, I was like, wow. I wish I could listen to this podcast. I don't even need to be a part of it right
That's
now.
like a whole episode.
That was great. But I have.
Oh, you want that? Go catch the stream.
Dufino let us know what's on his mind.
Oh, you've called my bluff immediately. Okay. But and you've cursed me with Goldfish Brain. What was I gonna say? I swear it was good. Oh yeah, pretend I'm a store
You've
owner.
had Goldfish Brain the whole pod.
It's because of the hoodie color.
It's the sweatshirt. It's the sweatshirt. It looks gold in the camera right now.
So I have Goldfish Brain. Okay, yeah, this is probably the reason.
Yeah.
Just scalding the viewer's eyes. Yeah. So okay, for the third time, let's pretend I'm a store. If like you were saying, the ProQuest RTN season thing is not Silver Age, and I'm a store that runs one armory per week. I'm pretty sure you're only allowed to run like one or two. You only can have one, right? Yeah. Like, am I gonna?
You can run other things, but they can't be in an armory.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless that's changed over the past like year or so. I know when I was like more religious, like more involved in running the armories at my store, like that was the case. So that if that changed since then that's changed. But it was that.
Yeah, assuming just one armory. Are you really gonna make your one armory per week be Silver Age? Like, I feel like that just caps you so much on drawing in people who are going to want to like play week over week and are enfranchised in the competitive nature of FAB.
To be fair, I do think we have. They didn't say it outright, but it did feel like when watching the dev talk and watching the announcement, it did seem like they would have it at least for ProQuests. And I know Fino's gonna get angry. So one problem with this,
you don't even know about what. You don't even know why I'm angry.
One problem you'll notice with this is that once again we have been told that something's going to happen, and that they'll tell us later, whenever later is. So once again, we have a thing where presumably Silver Age will be a competitively viable format that shows up at events like ProQuest, but who knows, man? It's kind of hard to get excited about it when I don't know if it's a real format or not.
Okay, go ahead.
Speaking about telling us later. Were we supposed to get a dev talk in October talking about the intent behind like all these changes of like
Silver Age, bro.
Yeah, like weren't they supposed to explain the whole you can't play in ProQuests anymore and all the different OP changes they would do? Not just 2 hours of Silver Age stuff?
Silver Age.
Like, okay, let Silver Age do well. That's fine. But also do the thing that you said you were going to do. Also, like, it's gotta be bad optics you shilling Silver Age super hard when LL is like literally on fire and it's the thing that you're about to do. That doesn't like inspire confidence.
Yeah, you guys know that that meme where it's like I think it's 2.5 Men where he's like, if you forgot, like, oh, I think I forgot something, and then it's like, oh, well, if you forgot it, it's probably not that important. The beer in his hand is Silver Age, and the kid standing in the rain is LL. Poor
Nice.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
My meme of the LL drowning
LL
was literally
LL
in your
drowning
video.
in the pool. Indeed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's my meme.
No joke. If they announce tomorrow that LL is out and it's Silver Age for Worlds, I would actually be
board.
happy. And that's not a joke. Like I'd be like,
I'd finally be on board with the LSS make them figure it out philosophy, bro.
That sounds like it would be fun, but with the amount of time that we have left, that's a terrible decision. I think more realistically, them say, you know what, you're right. We fucked up. LL's a dumpster fire.
CC?
No more LL, just CC. All the work that you put in is not wasted because it's a format you were already testing, and you probably tested more. So we're just we'll hold this L. I'm sorry you might have wasted some time practicing, but it's all CC.
That'll only happen if Dan isn't locked on a deck like right before the tournament. If Dan figures out a deck, they'll just like ban that deck again. Because once again, Dan's deck has been banned. But if Dan can't figure it out,
I think
then they'll just ban the format. Because
I think, Lucas, you should thank me. I was so adamantly saying that they have to nerf something in Verdance because her stats are too good that they're just like, in spite of me, they decided that they were not going to touch it at all.
Up.
They're like, we'll show you
Yeah,
what's up. I don't know. I decided to take today to mourn, and then I will probably be a card game player tomorrow, which is just like, there's a lot of money on the line. I like competing. I will just play the game that way. I mean, I played Vibes. I made like top 4 at their event. I did not enjoy playing that game, but like I played the game and I played the deck that was good and I got good at it and I did well. Like
shout out to
I
Battle
can easily
Spirits.
Battle Spirits is another one. I can easily do this if I need to. It's just like FAB was never that game. FAB was like a game where I holistically enjoyed the whole experience and I just wanted to play FAB all the time. And that has just like been not the case for this tier 4 event. This is the first tier 4 event I've ever had where I'm just like, I don't really want to play the game. I don't really want to play either format. I will do it and I will, because I still like competing. I still like playing card games and it's a lot of money on the line. But I don't actively want to sit down and practice like I have in other formats. And I think that's shown that like I'm not the only person who feels this way. It's just that part has been sad to actually feel that way because it's been years and years and years of playing this game and never feeling that way. It was like the opposite. It was just like I want to do everything I can to try and
I
win
felt
the
that way
tournament. And
about
it's just
Amsterdam.
not that way. I mean, Amsterdam is my least favorite format I've ever played.
Honestly,
but I was still
for Amsterdam. I would have felt this
it.
way about Singapore and Amsterdam, but honestly, draft for both of those events, High Seas and Mistveil, that was kind of enough for me. Like even if I didn't love CC, it was like I knew what a good choice was for CC. I practiced it. It was fine. And I feel like now it's the same. Where like CC is like, we kind of know what's up. We know what the good decks are. They're all fine. But then the secondary format is instead of like pretty good draft set that's interesting and at the very least draft is self-correcting. So we'll see something happen. It's like, no, it's just like a dumpster fire. It feels like Hunted Draft. Like imagine if like Hunted Draft was with Amsterdam CC. Like that's how this tournament feels to me, where it's just like kind of garbage secondary format with boring CC format that we kind of know about.
I don't know. I felt like the Amsterdam format was probably even worse than you thought it was. I legitimately think that was the worst format of any card game I've ever played in my life.
I think it was worse than CC is now for sure. But
Noah's played some bad formats.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely played Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I have also played Yu-Gi-Oh. I've also played Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was worse than any Yu-Gi-Oh format I've
You
ever
haven't played
Teledad was
games
pretty
where
bad.
your opponent
Worse than
normal
Teledad.
summons a monster, and you put your hand in your deck, and you shuffle and go to game 2. Then you summon a monster, and then you go to game 3, and then they summon a monster, and you shake their hand.
Have you ever played with Mystic Mine? Have you ever put Mystic Mine on the board
Mystic
and
Mine
asked
is
your
really fun.
opponent do you have a card in your deck that is not a monster effect that says destroy target spell or trap? If you do, I'll concede. Otherwise, you should concede.
No, but that was lit. No, I like Mystic Mine.
Bro, get out of town. Oh my god. What a nerd.
No, in seriousness, I agree. Amsterdam is my least favorite format that has ever existed in this game. It's not my least favorite format ever, but it is my least favorite format in this game. This is my second least favorite format. I do want to talk a little bit about CC because ultimately I think this is a
you don't want to talk about Teledad? I was trying to talk about Teledad mirrors.
Oh,
Dude, we're so
No,
off
No,
the
those
rails.
are not
You got to
enjoyable.
keep us on track, Cody.
we got to keep it
This
PG.
is a competitive person problem for this CC event. I ultimately, I have a rant on this, but I ultimately think from a dev perspective and from a more casual perspective, this is probably a great format. Probably one of the best formats for them. I think from a competitive side, this is my second least favorite format that has ever existed. And I see this, at least other people having the same opinion. And I'll explain what I'm talking about. So this CC event, or this CC format, is essentially a bunch of powerful decks that are incredibly inconsistent. There are the big three. We already know what those are. They all lose or beat each other some good percentage of the time. There is basically no deck that beats all three of them. There might be one or two, but it's very
You're
slim.
talking about Arachne Huntsman. Get out of here.
Yeah, or Prism. That's the other
Or
one,
what?
right? So, or Prism.
Oh, what about Marlin? That's the new hotness.
Marlin's
Everybody's
pretty
got
good into some of the decks as well, but it's not good in the gravy. There are few decks that even beat two of the pie at the same time, so in a consistent manner. So what ends up happening in this format is you have probably like a list of like 7 or 8 decks that are very reasonable to play. However, they're all just inconsistent, powerful decks where you don't always get to do the thing. I'm talking about like Acilio and Dio and Mario and Kasai. If they draw the good cards, the deck is like phenomenally great. And if they don't, then you just fall so far behind that you can't actually ever enact a game plan ever again. And then you have the big three. So essentially what ends up happening is just like our gym lottering is one of the things, because if you get your good matchups, that's good for you. But you're also just like, in a lot of matchups, you're looking at your top 20 cards versus your opponent's top 20 cards with very little interaction that is meaningful, and just seeing who did the bigger turn first faster, because there's not a lot of good comeback mechanics in this event. So this is the first time that this has felt like a real card game, because you need to dodge certain matchups. You also just need your deck to hopefully function. And the other deck is so powerful that you're playing against that if they function, they win. If you function, you win. If you both don't function, then maybe you actually have a game to play. And the format's never felt like this. So macro strategy is like very low in this format for a lot of decks. And at the top end, if you're looking at like a developer, if you're a developer looking at this format from the outside, this is a great format. There's like 9-10 decks that you can play that you're not a bozo for registering. And they can all win the tournament. Like, oh, we've done it. This is a great format. And then like, if you're on the lower end and you're just like, I just want to play my Kasai deck, I just want to play my Acilio deck, you can 100% do that and win some tournaments. It's completely fine. Or you can like play Gravy and you can win 2 events and scrub at 2 events, because the variance is just so high that you, at like a higher level, you're just hoping that things work out well.
You can just scrub events and do
What's
okay
that?
at events and split the finals.
Okay, sure. I don't know what that has any
Just
relevance to
calling
what I was
Tino
saying, but
You can keep going.
okay. my point was, it's just that like from being a competitive player, there's just a whole list of decks that are all pick your variants that you care about, and then just hope that you draw good cards. And that's the whole format.
You didn't even mention like KO or Victor, which are also excellent examples of this.
Yeah, like I said, there's like 9-10 decks that you're not a bozo for registering. They all make sense. They're all the same. There's no difference here. Like, you're just like slightly better in this matchup and slightly better in this matchup. And all of this only matters if you draw your good cards. Like, if you draw if you don't draw the good cards, you just lose other matchups anyway. So who cares? Like, you can't make a game plan around just drawing the good cards in the first 20.
And as you would say,
see.
it's how in your face is that variance. With KO, it's very in your face, the variance. Other decks, it's a little more subtle.
Yeah. That's why I say, I think from like looking at like a top level, this format looks great. But this is easily my second worst favorite format I've ever played. I don't have a lot of interest in trying to solve it, because one, it's been around for forever. It's pretty stale. The games aren't incredibly interesting to play, to be honest, because you're just stomping both directions, and then occasionally you have a good game. And then the 3 main decks,
It feels like it's so many non-games.
It's a lot of non-games, and the 3 main decks are not decks that you can make a game plan for. Like, sometimes Gravy literally does nothing, and sometimes Gravy like ley lines you into a conch in a blue and a dude. It's like, how do you game plan for that? Like, these are drastically different types of turns that happen.
Yeah, I think Syndra and Verdance are. I think it's interesting that I actually do think that there is an ability to game plan into a lot of the top decks right now. Um, like Syndra is definitely a deck where like you can build your deck to be better or worse. Into Verdance, the same is true. Into Gravy, the same is true. I think the problem is that like the way you do that is like just so in your face. Like for Syndra, it's like, oh, you want to be better into Syndra? Put more 3 blocks and defensive cards in your deck, and if you have access to prevention, you should probably play it. For Verdance and Gravy, it's basically the same thing. It's just like, I guess for Verdance, it's just like play 5 cards on offense. For Gravy, it's just like you guys have mentioned before, just like be able to kill their guys and also hit their face for like a good amount of damage. Like if you can kill a Sawbones and then do like a good turn at their face, like you can beat Gravy. But like kind of everybody knows what's up. It's like, okay, you want to beat Syndra, put 3 blocks in. You want to beat Verdance, put proactive cards in. You want to beat Gravy, just put head jabs in. Like it's really not that interesting.
I think, yeah, I also think you're missing part. Like, so Kasai into Syndra. I'll give you an example. This is actually a pretty good matchup for Kasai. If it always draws a go again, like if it just misses a go again, it's like, oh, why did I even play this deck? Like, you just lose. Like, the deck's power levels are so tight together like that. And you don't have no control over that. You're like, mathematically, I'm running the correct number of these. In other formats, you could miss a go again attack and it was fine. Like a go again, and you could still play the game out of that. But everything is so close in power level, and other decks are so powerful that like this becomes like a problem. You're just like, I always need to draw this way for the deck to function in the game plan that I've enacted. And that is like kind of sometimes an extreme example, but a lot of the decks feel this way. Like Acilio feels similar, Dio feels similar, Syndra itself feels similar. If you just like draw the inactive hand that doesn't function as Syndra, you're like, oh, I lost the game. That sucks.
I think this
like,
is also why specialists are doing so well right now, because when your game plan is not able to be consistent, you're rewarded for having been in more situations and having the ability to like adapt and understand to the different games. I've experienced this with Verdant.
Have we even seen that?
I've experienced this.
Like, where is that ever? How is that? In what tournament did they win?
No, I've experienced this. What are you saying?
I mean, you're saying that like that specialists have done well, and then we've just seen like Verdance.
No. But I'm saying,
like, what are you talking about? It's been great.
No, I'm saying if you look at like ProQuest results, like there are so many different. I'm not even just saying like specialists as in like top tier players who play the decks. I'm just like you were saying earlier. In this format, people are able to say, oh, I'm just going to play the deck that I want to play. Like, oh, I want to play Kasai, I'll just play Kasai. And I feel like people are rewarded in this format for experience on the deck more than they are for having necessarily the best thought out game plan. Because most of the game plans are pretty obvious, but most of the... I think the unique aspect of this format is exactly what you're saying, where a lot of the games are very different and they play out differently. So being able to adapt with your deck and having more experience in different situations is more important than, say, picking a deck that makes sense into the meta like 2 weeks before the event and then figuring out a bunch of strong game plans into the top decks. Because it's kind of just you have to understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, but none of the stats and none of the data says that that's true. It literally just says the big 3 decks win. Like, what are you talking about? Like, every calling has been won by Syndra, Verdance, Gravy, and like all the finals have been that. There are no specialists that are doing well because it doesn't matter how much experience you have. If your top 20 is bad, you just lose the game. Like, there isn't coming back in a lot of these potentials. You don't actually get to show off your skill in doing that. Yeah, you can win, but you still have to draw the good cards. That's the actual issue.
Well, I don't disagree.
Hey, Noah.
I'm just
Do you have a thought about this?
Yeah, I'll chill, dude. I got nothing. I got all the time in the world, man. Okay.
Maybe an ice cream break time?
So, Cody, you have said something. You have to draw the cards. Ideally, you've been referencing like you have to have a better top 20. But I think if you actually look at every deck right now, at least the direction of... This is not current design, but just the direction of FAB design in general, is they print a lot of effects that are flavored differently, but have a similar end result by class. I'll explain. Gravy has Conqueror. Verdance has Plow. Syndra has Breaking Point. KO has CNC Send Packing. So if you look at like a lot of highly represented decks in this format right now, they all have reasons that say, I'm your opponent, I should never arsenal a card. Because if I arsenal a card, I now have to use my cards in a way that I don't want to, otherwise your cards get value. And so I think kind of what leads to this feeling of I just have to hope I draw good is because you can't actually strategically arsenal. That's just like not a mechanic of the game anymore. Of like, I'm gonna put this power card in my arsenal, wait 3 or 4 turns, and then okay, now it's time to go, because your arsenal is just being threatened by every deck in the game.
Yeah, I think the Arsenal Zone is one of the biggest skills that we've seen historically in the game. It's something where like when I feel like I'm super experienced on a deck, that's one of the things that I'm able to like tell like teammates or friends that are learning a deck that I feel like is the most useful is like you should prioritize this Arsenal card in this kind of situation. But I think what you're saying is absolutely true.
Yeah, now it's just a complete meme. Like if you arsenal, you're an idiot because now you just got conked or you got plowed or like now you made their CNC or send packing or breaking point get value. Like you actually just the optimal play is most often to just not arsenal, play your random 4 cards off the top, which I think just eliminates that whole skill, like you were saying, Lucas.
Well, and also even if like you do Arsenal, if you do get punished, like sometimes it is just right to Arsenal, but because there's so much Arsenal disruption, it is just like it's still just a higher rate of disrupting what your deck is planning to do, which leads to higher variance, right? Like like you're playing Verdants into like the decks that disrupt your arsenal. Like imagine like you have a Rampant Growth set, and then you finally draw into the hand where you have like maybe you're playing a high life gain build, right? You draw into a hand that's like Ramp, Sigil, Fruits, and then you get like Conquered like 40% of the time. Like that's such a crazy variance point that exists in just like so many different games. Like KO sets Blood Rush Bellow and then draws like 3 no blocks and a blue. His opponent's like 35% of the time gonna just draw CNC, and it's like a 2-card 15 or whatever, and
yeah, exactly.
65% of the time they don't. Like it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think let's be very clear. I'm gonna make this caveat. I think in all podcasts going forward that I don't want to give LSS bad advice. Please keep making disruption in the game, but just maybe think about not making all of it targeted at the arsenal and give every single class a flavor of it. I think it's better to have disruption be something like based on the class. They have like different forms of disruption. But yeah, keep printing disruption, but don't make it such that the game is all just draw 4 cards off the top and play. Like the arsenal was created for a reason.
If you think about it, like,
and also don't make it just like it happens and there's no interaction.
Yeah,
like
I
think the wizard,
the hand trappy got 'em style of disruption is so cringe to play.
I don't know. I think actually I think the wizard class is a good example where they have a lot of these like stuff like mental block, rewind. You have Aetherize, you have Scour. Like there's a lot of these like very unique targeted effects. Like in Earth, you have like channel the Earth channel that gets rid of auras. I feel like these are kind of cool, different, unique ways to allow. Not necessarily that all these cards.
You're saying the wrong things. You're saying part of the right things, but mostly the wrong things. The cards you're not mentioning are the surge effects that are like Mind Warp and Destructive Aethertide. Those are the more like correct comparisons where you can just prevent the surge and then you don't get hit. Whereas stuff like Rewind and Aetherize does not like counterplay. I think like Destructive Aethertide and Mind Warp, if they printed more flavors of those where it's like if it surges, you do the thing. So you have to like it's pretty face up what's going to happen. They're probably playing some cards that
it's an interaction point.
Exactly. You can have like a no fear to stop it, or you can like play more AB. You can have Oasis. Like you can have counterplay as the defending player to prevent that effect, and then it becomes like a back and forth. I think something like Scour is like cringe because what's the back and forth? Like I just cast Scour, you lose everything. Cool.
So I think the interesting design point for cards like that is that you can diversify the way that decks disrupt each other. Mostly what I'm saying is that not necessarily that those were all the best examples of like how the cards are designed, but disruption outside of the arsenal can be in various ways, right? Like it can be prevention against Flick Knives decks.
Yeah, the different types. Yeah, I like that aspect.
It can be like stuff like felling, maybe at a higher price than something like felling, but stuff like that.
But no, just like what Noah said, just take what you said, but just make them surge effects, right?
Yeah, well,
and that's a good example of that. What if we just gave it different effects on decompose?
You can design it.
It happens. You
can design it in I think many different ways. That's something you guys can decide. I was just focusing on. I think in particular,
exactly we get to decide. We will email LSS later.
I think the arsenal disruption just takes away a player's ability to plan. And I think taking away a player's ability to plan is a way that variance often gets increased.
Yeah, it's kind of like you put something on the board state and it's almost impossible to touch. But then you put something in the arsenal where it's like you're doing a similar task of I'm going to save this for later when the time is right. and it's so easy to have that threatened or just straight removed.
What if they made anti Arsenal disruption? Like
it's
Wait,
girl
like,
walking,
not Crown of Providence where
you're
you
getting a bigger and
from
bigger
your
mech, you know?
No, imagine like no fear from your arsenal. You like banish guard from your arsenal, block 3.
No. Imagine like Crown of Providence, but instead of it sinking your arsenal, it's like a piece of equipment that you block with that stops the next on hit effect. You get like a 1 get out of jail free
Like
card.
a tar pit trap on your equipment.
Wait, no, I think this effect would be sick. Like banish card from your arsenal, you get it back at the end of the turn. It's like just strictly for dodging these effects, but it's pretty good at doing. Be cool.
Yeah.
I'd take a no block helmet that just said stop the next on hit.
No, that's way too good. Come on, you can't do that.
I mean, balance is
Dude,
block 2
Starbo
draw
would be
card.
so
You're
down
saying
bad. Oh,
good.
Broken old.
Good.
Fuck you.
I do think another part is that all of the decks' actual power levels post book banning has been supposed to be relatively toned down, but the decks that we're seeing that are on like the fringe of winnability are like Dio Acilio type of deals. Like they're played at a pretty high clip, but their power is like pre-book ban sometimes. So like for a lot of decks, there's like no world where you can actually live against them if they draw decently, because like your deck just doesn't do that because they're playing on like an axis that doesn't exist anymore. And I think
you're not playing the same game.
You're not playing remotely the same game. But it's kind of like how you have to try and win some of these matches. Like it's hard to like, you can't grind Verdance out. It's like very hard to grind Verdance out unless your deck is like very attuned at that. So you have to just play like hypo aggressive or play the game a different way that she's not allowed to interact with, like Gravy or something. Right.
I think the fact that Verdance and Gravy are so strong, Wizard and Illusionist, right? I think we've seen this issue before, and I feel like right now, because there's really not that many options for the like third like powerful. Normally this is like Runeblade or Ninja. Is just like the Runeblade in particular is just not as strong as it normally is, right? It's represented by these like Dio, Kasai, Acilio, these kind of like maybe higher variance decks that exist in this space but aren't quite strong enough. I think the wizard overlap there is a big problem, where we still have like the illusionist keeping a lot of the slow decks out. We just have like a wizard also keeping the slow decks out that is somehow also able to just like beat most of the mid-range decks too. And so you're just left with like play aggro, and the aggro decks right now like aren't all that good, so you're just playing the high roll decks.
I don't know. Tough meta. It's not incredibly enjoyable to be the person trying to play it at tier 4 level. There are decks that I love playing right now that are not anywhere.
Do you think we'll ever
at bringing to a tier?
Do you think
4
we'll ever break out of this cycle though of just like? You think the game will just devolve into, at some point you can never arsenal cards?
It depends on whether or
like
not
how do they do this? Do they like?
I mean,
like,
if you
unless
I'm more concerned that we're never going to break out of this cycle of us always feeling like there's some problem with the meta, like specifically like the gem roulette problem. It seems like that's been a problem actually every single meta ever in FAB, and that's one.
I think that's just a tenet of.
We're going to get away from.
That's just a tenet of their design. I think they like that as a mechanic of.
Yeah.
They want to have some matchups where it's 90-10, partly because they like the idea of like, oh, but you're a good player, you can win the underdog matchup. It's like a fairy tale story, and then also they want to have. Usually it's the 90-10s when we're talking about some deck that plays on an axis that a lot of people would find not enjoyable. They tend to give those decks the 90-10s to make it so that the whole tournament isn't filled with them.
Yeah, that I mean I don't like it, but we've kind of got used to it by now. But like, quite often each meta tests some different skill because it's made differently. We've talked about this like plenty of times in the past, that each meta feels like it's testing a different type of skill. And I can 100% accept that some people probably like this format. But this is just like, I don't know what skill this is trying to test. When I look at the format, trying to play it, other than like maybe not tilting. It's like the skill in this format or something.
Yeah,
but
this
deck building consistency maybe.
I think right now it tests basically your mental fortitude to withstand tilting, and then also your ability to like quickly calculate the chances of things happening to influence decisions that you make. That's basically the 2 skills.
It just sucks when you move the risk dial the right direction and it doesn't matter. They still have the thing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, but most of the time this works. But not this time. Well, there's no comeback, so we will sit here and stare at each other while I slowly lose the rest of the game.
But if you make it to top 8 of Worlds, you get to play best 2 out of 3. So
true.
Even less variance.
But one of those is LL now.
No, what if 2 of them are LL? What if your opponent's a masochist?
Oh.
I'm actually really excited to see the meta on that. Like what people choose.
Yeah, I hope I have to make the choice. It's unlikely, but I hope I will.
I also hope I am one of the top 4 people after Swiss. Yeah.
It's just, I'm just looking at people who are actually like playing the game at like a higher level, and I'm seeing them disengage from how often that they're actually practicing for Worlds. And I'm like, so this can't be right. Like this, there are people who are highly invested in the game, right? And if you're not doing everything you can to win Worlds because you don't like how the game currently is, like that has to say a lot about the game. I mean, we all chose to be on a podcast or be on a team that plays a lot of time, into the game. And I will get back to being that card game player who's just like, I'm just going to play the card game and win the game and not like love the game. And I need to adopt that mentality in order to basically play at Worlds. Because I can't just play the game because I like playing it, because that's not how I feel about it currently. But I will adopt that moniker so that I can get through it and actually put in the correct amount of practice. I just need, like, this was like my last like morning of the game. Like it broke today. Like there was like, I was reading through this and I've been ranty a lot, especially this cycle. But I was reading through this today and I was like, it just kind of hit me. I was like, okay, I'll just do what I do in other card games that I don't enjoy playing, where I still sit in, grind, put the time in, and I'm just going to focus on trying to win. Which is not how I've necessarily always approached FAB. Like I still did all those things, but it wasn't from like a mindset of like, I'm doing this to just try and win versus I'm enjoying the process. So.
Okay.
You can join me in Illusionist Land and we'll enjoy the process together.
I don't know if I'm ever willing to catch those strays again. That new at Nationals, just like 13
in
popper
LL.
new. Oh,
in
okay.
LL. Well, we're gonna play Dromai. We're so bad.
Yeah. Cody
And
had a
if we're
bad
lost-
experience with his opponent playing too many poppers and him getting tilted. Let him play Dromai. Yeah, that's a great idea. Dude, I literally. Dude,
Well, if it's a problem, we'll just go complain on
I'm
Twitter.
not gonna let Cody play.
Hey,
Dromai.
LSS, this puff up card. Get rid of this puff up card.
Another popper. Oh my god, bro! Every turn, 4 out of 5 turns. Oh, man. Unlucky.
I don't know, that felt pretty bad. Well, if you're like me and confused on what deck to play, this episode is brought to you by FabLeasing.com, the only website that has the data. It has saved me hundreds of hours of matchup testing and will continue to do so because I have no idea what deck I'm going to be playing at Worlds. I have been literally going through this website. I think everyone on the team has been going through this website, attempting to find like any edges that they can find in all of their matches. This is invaluable for testing and even just for settling arguments with your friends. If you want the power of data, then visit FabLeasing.com. Link
That was
will
a
be below.
tough segue.
It's a relatively smooth landing.
Wonder if they'll change the website name of KNOLLs. You can't be blazing
From
anymore.
Fab Blazing. Can't be blazing. I don't know. For as ranty as this episode could have been, I think we're just like, we just keep talking about things that aren't flesh and blood. We're just like distracting ourselves from the issues. I found it very funny.
Yo, yeah, we're gonna play Pokemon Champions soon, right? We're gonna be the team Runaways is gonna go play Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
They have
playing
3
Rift
prizes
Bound
again. There's
after
no way
Worlds.
I'm playing Pokemon, dude.
No. We're gonna play VGC.
Yeah, Champions is VGC.
Oh.
That's the actual highest skill game I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's VGC, but you don't have to actually like play the game to earn the mons and stuff.
VGC is
just
it's
just showdown style, but officially supported.
Wait, we should totally play.
Indeed.
Oh,
Dan's down.
dude, Flesh and Blood.
We got Dan. We got Noah.
Yeah.
Dude, code and digitization.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can join the junior division and get some scholarships.
For my last semester in school.
Anyways,
anything else on CC before we go to podcast questions?
I would love to see some big mungus questions.
The question one is Big Mungus, actually.
Podcast.
I'm aware.
Nice.
Podcast questions are asked by members of our premium Metafy. If you'd like to be able to ask questions on the podcast, get any of our deck lists, which this month was Gravy, Verdance, and KO, with sideboard options, feel free to join our Metafy below. We also have a bunch of guides as well. First question here is from Skabichi, I guess aka known as Big Mungus. If you had to sacrifice a teammate to the flesh and blood gods in exchange for LL being removed from Worlds, who is jumping in the volcano?
Launchi.
I put some thought into this.
I
put some thought into this. I think you have to go with one of two
It's his
things. Either someone that hates LL and
is willing to sacrifice.
they're going to, they're dying for everyone's sins. They're going to be the martyr. Or someone that loves LL and they're going to be really sad that's
they
no
wouldn't want
longer
to
there
live
to
in a
be
world
played.
without LL.
Yes. Either I'm
I don't
playing
think
LL or I'm
anybody's
dying.
in the second camp.
LL or give me the rope.
No, honestly, dude, I think, dude, it's Yuanji. He's got an attitude problem. You know, it's overdue. It's about time. We need to send him to Jesus. And if there's an excuse to do it under the guise of getting LL back, I think we should take it.
I think Dan volunteered for tribute.
What'd you say?
So I think Dan volunteered for tribute.
Oh, he probably would do it. Actually, he would selfishly.
Yeah,
or selflessly.
He is a good enough guy. He would 100% volunteer as tribute.
He's also on vacation like every other podcast, so like he's probably around a million volcanoes. So like it just sounds convenient for him.
I definitely have some real answers that I won't share, but a funny answer would be Naib, because he always beats me at premier events. So if he's in the volcano, he can't beat me. Or maybe Fino as well, or Jimmy. All these people have like way too many wins against me. So for my own sake, I'll be removing LL and I'll be removing a strong competitor. So sign me up for any of those. I'm sorry, man.
Notice he did not mention me or Cody.
I've never played a real game into Cody, and then I've only played you like once, I think.
Did we? Oh yeah, well, no, we played at Baltimore. You cooked me.
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't need to remove the chair.
Yeah. Nice.
That's crazy.
He Who
The chair in
Smites
the
says, Dan has mentioned going to PAX Unplugged a few times. This begs the question, what are y'all's favorite games that aren't TCGs?
Well, when PoE 2 came out, everybody on the team was making fun of me for how much time I spent on that. So that's definitely a game that I enjoy a lot.
Well, half the team also was playing
That's
it with
true.
you.
That's true. I just caught all this
To be
praise.
fair.
Okay.
Yeah, because you kept playing it after we all quit.
I
That's
see, I
essentially
see.
what happened.
Well, we also just talked about Pokemon Champions. I think all of us, maybe not Cody, you can speak for yourself, but like the idea of Pokemon VGC, it's just like way too daunting to get into.
Yep.
Also, like,
I would never go collect all the mons myself.
yeah, exactly. Also, like D&D and various video games that are based on D&D.
I mean, for my money, though, I'd have to go with the critically acclaimed MMORPG
God,
Final
bro,
Fantasy
shut up.
XIV with expanded free trial of A Realm Reborn, including Heaven's Ward and Stormblood, up to level 70. It's award-winning.
Mine is basically any of the bullet hell games is what I spend all my time playing. Like Megabonk is the most popular one that happened. Ball X Pit, I think, is also just popped off as another one of those type of decks or a type of games. So I play a lot of those. Wardo77 says flavor text challenge. The Boulder clan has little time for slights against the heritage of Anvilheim.
It's got to be a Guardian card, right?
I feel like this has to be one of the Guardian cards from the new set. I just pulled out my bulk from the Mastery Pack Guardian that we
Honestly,
opened at the
if
ice cream
it's
place.
if it's from Mastery Pack Guardian, I concede. I feel like I'm just gonna take that out of the equation. I'll guess everything else.
The problem is, I'm pretty sure I know the card, but I can't think of the name right now.
I'm
So I'm
thinking
hoping that it'll just appear in my bulk.
Embolden comes to mind,
The-
but I don't think that has. I don't
The
know
o-
if that has enough room. I'm thinking it's like
The only one
No, I think it's the 5 for 8. The 5 for 8 that's like...
Aftershock?
Is that what it's called?
The only one I can think of is the super rare that makes your armor block better from WTR. I don't know the name of it.
Oh, Forge for
So
War?
the hint is yellow.
Ooh,
pitch.
Forge for War. That makes... Yeah. No,
Wait,
if
that
you
would be lit.
Yo, I'm
read it one
lit.
more time.
Wait, you might be right.
I'm
man.
lit.
That actually
One
sounds...
sec, let me wait before you reveal. I'm pretty sure I have the card here. Oh, okay, never mind. I found the card and it's not at all even close to that. Okay, I have no guess. Forge for War is lit.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense.
Oh, dude, if
Yeah.
that was it, that would be hype.
Not even close. Short shrift.
Oh, short shrift. What the heck?
What is that?
It's from
Yeah.
Super Slam, the
Wait,
one of the 0 for 3s.
It's a super slam.
Makes them discard a card if it crushes.
No, I haven't had to play limited for either one of the last 2 sets, so I don't know any of the comments.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know the new
I've
cards
never
had
played Super
flavor
Slam
text.
Limited. That's crazy. I don't even care. Oh man, that's so sad. Flew to Auckland this year because I'm a fan
Mike-
of the game, by the way.
Mike at Blockout Party says, how many card names contain the word Arknight?
Arknight, not Arcanite, right?
The one with the K.
Arknight.
Grasp, Helm, Become, Tome,
Shard.
Shard,
Shard.
Ascendancy,
Oath.
Is the
Yep.
is the pump that makes a rune chant?
Yeah, Oath and Ascendancy.
both of the Arknight. Yep. Amplify.
Oh, okay.
Arknight.
If you guys run out of fingers, one of you put down your fingers, and then the other
No,
one
here,
continue
don't-
from
no.
the other side of the
We
screen.
gotta. Right.
Noah's 11 through 20.
Arknight. I feel like of the Arknight is what we're looking for here.
8.
8 is pretty good.
So
I feel like
8
there
is
could
where
be
we're
one
at?
more.
8 or 9?
Arknight.
I'm so bad at these. I don't know the card
We
names.
could say 9, but
Yeah,
I feel
no.
like 8
I
is
feel like
this
8 is actually
This
good.
is not
I
how
think we
I-
got them all, but
This is not how I remember
It could be
cards,
9.
so. 9. Amplify, Ascendancy, Become, Grasp,
Oh,
Helm,
Sigil.
Oath, Sigil.
oh yeah,
Shard.
yeah.
From Rosetta.
Oh, yeah, that card that no one's
Oh,
ever
is
played.
that one of
yeah.
the zero cost
Yeah,
ones?
yeah.
Oh,
That makes
dude, we did so good.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Ascendancy was
I'm proud of
sleeper.
this.
Wait,
I would not have thought of Ascendancy.
wait a minute, Lucas. You did play the limited for
I
that
did,
one.
Yeah.
What's your excuse?
I don't know, man.
King of Mice says, with Chain and Viz hit in LL by the bans, do you think Zen will rise to be the contender with Starvo, or will his meta share decrease because of less Viscerize?
That should depend on if Starvo upticks, right? Because like that's a bad matchup.
Yeah, I think this is actively bad for Zen. Like, these changes are just
Yeah.
bad for Zen.
Yeah, I
Lost
think,
positive matchup. Bad matchup got better.
I think interestingly,
Yeah.
his play rate might go up, but I think he is worse. Like I think he has more meta share now to occupy because Viscerai and Chain have less meta share, but those I think were good matchups.
Aurora should have been a good matchup too, right?
I think that just sucks.
That's not my
Yeah.
question. But like if you're playing Aurora to target these rune chant shackle
I don't
decks because of vaporize
I don't think you
shock,
are.
and if people were theoretically playing that deck to do that, and those decks see less play, then there's theoretically less Auroras
You can also
floating
play
around,
Hatchet
meaning
Glory to target
theoretically you also
Starvo,
lost
but
another good
doesn't mean you're
matchup.
gonna beat the Starvos. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Dude, Aurora's not on the same level as Hatchet Dory. That's so disrespectful.
Dude, that's how I feel.
You should at least put some respect on this. It says elemental.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
you've sold me. I did
It's
play
a
that deck at a
elemental.
Pro Tour, and that was like the best my
Bozo.
deck has ever felt at a Pro Tour.
And you get to play cards.
Yeah, you're
You
bozo.
get to play cards that got banned in CC before, like Ball Lightning. Like that card's ignorant with Arc
Oh,
Lightning.
that doesn't make me want to play Aurora more. That makes me want to play the deck less, bro.
Put some respect on
Yeah,
it.
it's
at
not about
least.
making you want to play it, just recognizing that it's like it has uninteractable damage.
I've played the deck.
I never asked how good the deck is. That was just not my question. And then you just started pooping all over it. You're like, people that play this deck are bozos. They shouldn't even register the event. They should ask for a refund to their PTI.
I didn't say any
like,
of this, but
whoa.
like, like I don't know.
You didn't say it, but you wish you did.
I mean, I'm gonna keep a buck. Maybe they should include that with these BNR updates, like, and also in addition to this BNR update, if you want a refund for your PTI after this, email us here.
I wonder if anyone would take him up on that. I don't know. They should really change the calling to just be like Silver Age or something. Like no one wants to play in this calling.
I don't know. That's also bad because like imagine you spent money buying cards. Imagine you spent money buying cards to play this calling, and then they're like format change. No matter what, the people that already signed up will be unhappy. The people that haven't signed up might not sign up now that they changed it because we're too short notice for them to plan a trip. That like sounds good, but in reality, it's kind of a everyone loses situation.
Sure. I'm just
that was
saying
like kind of the problem that you had with Standard with VV a while ago, where VV should be banned, but the people that are still playing Standard probably signed up for this. They want this. Are you going to capture people now for Standard if you ban VV, or are they just out? So like you're risking even more unhappy people.
It basically means if they remove LL, then there can just never be an LL event ever in the game. Because, like, no one will believe it's real.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't think they want to burn the bridge that much.
They need the data! They need the data!
I'm simply saying the amount of people at my locals who is, like, 10 minutes away from Philadelphia, they're like, I'm not going. I don't want to play LL.
I will agree with this. Almost all of my locals are like, I'm just going to play side events. I'm still going to go, but I'm just going to play side events instead.
Yeah. Just insane. To be in this area and be like,
to be fair,
I keep trying to convince them to go just to like get the practice at events. Like, hey, if you ever want to like make a deep run at an event, you should use this as practice, even if you don't care about the format.
And they're just like the best example for this phenomena, but
you just got to shit on.
That's definitely just our locals being a unique population. I wouldn't.
You guys are like max haters on every aspect of everything.
Yeah, but my locals are not your locals, and they're also being like, I'm not going because I'm not going to go play this. I have no interest in playing this format, so I'm not going.
I'm sorry, boys. Like, y'all
unless they're qualified for Worlds, then like I have not heard almost anybody who's like, I'm going to go play the calling.
I think I'm also sad about this because like I actually want to play LL and enjoy LL.
Me too.
Like when I hear about like this being a format that's supported, I'm like, yes, I finally get to go play my decks that I used to enjoy. Like, give me an excuse to play Draw My Prism. I'm excited. I think that's the saddest part because it's like this is just going to be a dumpster fire, and I'm afraid they're just going to abandon it like they did Blitz, and that's it. End of conversation. I want to play these decks, but like, do a better job. I don't know.
I don't think
beating a dead horse.
Possible. I don't think it's possible to make the format function in the game. It's just, it'll never be a format where you get to go play the deck you want to play. It'll always be like a 2-deck format, a 3-deck format, whatever's like the strongest thing.
No, you could choose to. I think there's like 2 directions you can take it. You can either just make it the fun, wacky format that's pretty casual and like you're not supporting this at major events, and then it is do whatever the fuck you want because who cares? Like this is just like a fun format. Actually, 3 directions. The second direction is you just make it CC plus where you have like a really heavy ban list, and that's just not the same format, but at least you can still play whatever you want to play because it's a heavily monitored format. I had a lot of people suggest making it a point system format like Canadian Highlander where you
or like how Yu-Gi-Oh just did.
People have been suggesting hero life totals be the thing that is balanced instead of card. It's like Starvo gets 30 life or something like that. I've heard this online. I think it would be way too much of a pain in the ass to do, and they would never do it. But I think it would be an interesting. It's like not something.
What if your life total reduced for every?
Then you're just eroding.
What if the cards had a point association that reduced?
Yeah,
your
it's like
total?
It's like the NBA like salary cap, you know. Like you break over the cap, you pay too much for your deck, and then you start losing life. You want that first tripling? You're 38.
Wait, that's interesting.
That'd be hot.
Awakening costs like 2 points. Wait, that's OP. you start below them. I'll pay 3 life points. You throw in an extra card in your deck that's pointed just to get just so you can start low enough.
That's funny.
Somehow they snuck a Death Shadow in their deck.
Yeah, the meta is 35 health Starvo, but you're playing 33 health Starvo with 1 Awakening, so you got a good matchup.
Wait, but then they started even lower than you.
I don't know, bro. This should, it's
Yeah, it's the
it's fair.
Awakening War, man.
It's fairy tale for everyone.
They'll sub 3 and be starting at 29.
Now we just have 60 card blitz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's-
Well, I think we solved the
blitz
format.
format.
Yeah. Okay. With that said, I don't know. I'm gonna go buckle down. I guess my love of the game is dying slowly, but hopefully
very
some
cheerful,
things
bro.
change and then it gets better.
Yeah.
So
Woohoo! Yay!